Hi everyone, John here. Today we're going to take a little break from our Holster Man from Uncle series, and we're actually going to discuss a topic that everyone speaks about and everyone has a lot of agreements and or disagreements about, and that's accuracy. We've developed two terms that we like to talk about when we discuss accuracy. One is inherent accuracy. That's the accuracy that anyone can expect from a firearm with no human intervention. In other words, the firearm was built a certain way, the firearm is put together a certain way, and if you were to fire this firearm with no human intervention, you would get a certain result. And the other is called actual accuracy. That's how we like to describe it. And that's the accuracy that you, as a shooter, can achieve or hope to get. And that is only, of course, through one thing, the old joke, how do you get carnegie hall? Practice. But now let's look at our inherent accuracy. Inherent accuracy in rifles is quite easy to see. They usually take a rifle, they will go ahead and put it on a lead sled or rifle vise, they'll strap it to a bench, and they will do what they like to call a bench test. They will then take various bullets of various weights and different propellants, and they will fire a rifle at a known target 100 yards away. They will fire somewhere between 3, 5, 10 shots. And then what they'll discover is, in a circle, they call it a 1 MOA, which is about a 1-inch circle for all intents and purposes. They will then say that this rifle has an MOA accuracy. If they all go into a 1-inch circle, it's a 1 MOA. If it's less than that, it would be a 0.5 MOA or a 0.4 MOA. If it's bigger, it could be 2 MOA, which means it's 2 inches. To show you why this is so important on a rifle, if you're shooting rifles, is a 1 MOA, for instance, rifle can be expected at 1,000 yards to be able to hit a 10-inch circle. Okay, for you missileers out there and you old artillery guys, that's called the circular error of probability almost. In other words, it has a pretty good chance of hitting a 10-inch circle, somewhere in the 10-inch circle, and repeating that over and over. Now, with pistols, we have a whole different problem. With pistols, first of all, their barrels are much shorter, so their accuracy at a longer range is going to be quite diminished. Plus, the caliber of a pistol and the amount of propellant and this muzzle velocity, etc., is a lot less than a rifle. Also with a pistol, they usually test them the same way they do rifles. They'll take a bullet of the same caliber and various weights, and they'll either put it in what's called a ransom rest, which is a mechanical rest. The pistol actually fits in this rest, and then they pull the trigger and the pistol goes off and it goes back to the exact position it was when it was first fired. Sometimes they'll do them off sandbags where a guy will actually pull it. It just depends. You'll see in certain magazines like American Rifleman, Gun Test, Gun Digest, whatever, they'll tell you what the accuracy was that they achieved that day with a certain pistol and the various weights and grains of the bullets, etc. Now, to give you an example of an inherent accuracy, here's a target with a Walther P99. You can see they fired 5 shots, and they were able to put all those 5 shots from a rest into this circle. It was done at 15 meters, which is about 50 feet, and it was done with a grain weight of 124 grains or 8 grams, and that's what they were able to achieve, the inherent accuracy for this exact pistol. So, the question now becomes, what can we expect for actual accuracy? And that's dependent on many, many things. First of all, does the pistol fit your hand well? That's a very important thing. Do you like the pistol? Is the recoil bothering you, not bothering you? There's all these little factors that go into making the actual accuracy much different than the inherent accuracy. It can be the same, it could be a little better, or it can be worse depending on whether or not you like the pistol is fitting your hand well, the recoil, etc. So when we talk about accuracy, we're not only talking about the inherent accuracy, but we're talking the accuracy that you can achieve. Let me give you some examples on some targets right behind me. This target here is showing 9mm on top, 45 on the bottom when we have to shoot. That's a PPQ there, there's a grouping with the P99, there's a grouping with the P1. This was done at 39 feet. I want to show you something else. Here was a 45 match grade pistol, which I've owned for many years and never shot. I went out and started shooting it right after this, and you see these shots that are pretty much all over the place. They're somewhere within the target. That was me. My cameraman, who's with me today, was also out shooting with me. He said, well, maybe there's something wrong with the gun. That's his first grouping. There's nothing wrong with the gun. I'm showing you this because there was something wrong with me. I need to either A, practice with this particular pistol, or change the sights on it, or possibly just sell it because it's probably not a pistol that I necessarily am comfortable shooting. Here's another target. These were done at exactly 33 feet. This right here is a PPQ. It was done at rapid fire, and for my YouTube viewers out there, I usually like to put 3 on the side when I'm done. Here was the P1. I did the same kind of things. Didn't quite get it straight. Those 3 are my finishing shots on that. This right here is a P99 target. It was done at 35 feet. It's rapid fire, and this is the kind of accuracy that I was able to attain that day. Here's our final target. This was done at 27 feet. The first line across there is a PPQ. This is a P99 down here, and the last row is the P1. We've shown you all these targets to give you an idea of what actual accuracy can be. They're not necessarily the most accurate targets, nor the most inaccurate. And also to show you that without practice, or sometimes just a gun not fitting your hand well, you can have a lot of trouble accurately firing a pistol. For instance, if you looked at mine, this particular pistol here, the P99, which we showed you the original inherent accuracy target, and then the various accuracies that we've been able to achieve since then, and then we showed you the 45. There's a perfect example. I'm used to shooting this P99 now and not the 45, and my accuracy was not as good with the 45. If you're going to go out and buy a firearm at any time, the inherent accuracy can be a certain concern, a certain, I guess, question you can have about it. But more importantly, this is what we found. Do you like the actual gun? Do you like the way it fits your hand? Is the recoil too much or too little for you? All of these things go into affecting the actual accuracy of the pistol that you're going to have. Also, do you like the pistol? If you're not sure what you should buy, please go to a local gun range. Rent 3 or 4 different pistols. Find the one that fits your hand well and that you feel comfortable shooting. What it'll lead to is that you'll want to go out, shoot more, and practice more. The worst thing you can do is buy a firearm, decide you don't like it, you're not sure about it, put it in a drawer. 10 years later, you open that drawer and go, oh, there it is. Firearms like to be fired. They don't like to be put in a drawer. They like to go out and target shoot. They like to go out into competitions. They like these things. That's their job. You need to find one that you like. I personally don't care if it's a Glock, a SIG, a Walther, a Springfield, a Colt, a Ruger, whatever. Find the one that you like. Everybody has a gun that they like. There are certain pistols out there that I personally, if I fired them, I just don't like them. For instance, a friend of mine has a wonderful shooting Glock. That was the first polymer firearm I ever fired, and had I not gone out and tried any other polymer firearms, I probably would never have bought a polymer firearm. For me, the Glock just didn't work. That doesn't mean it's a bad gun, it just means it's not a good fit for me. Accuracy on the Glock, believe me, when I fired it, that suffered too. So when we talk about the accuracy of a firearm, it's going to be determined by what you like. Go with your inherent accuracy and then go with what you like, and go out and do the one important thing that you need to do, and that's practice, practice, practice. Please remember, treat all firearms, every firearm you see, as if it was loaded. Even if you know it's not, still treat it as loaded. When you unload your firearm, check it again. If there's somebody next to you, have them check it. Always err on the side of caution. When you go to fire your firearm and you have loaded it, do not touch the trigger until you are ready to fire your firearm. Be aware that whatever you fire at, whatever is in front of your muzzle, you are going to destroy. That bullet will destroy it. And whatever is behind it, it might get destroyed too. So remember, Be aware of your surroundings. Be very, very careful when you decide to discharge your firearm. Whether it's at a range, at hunting, just please always err on the side of extreme caution. And practice. And the last thing is, make sure you're having fun. This is a great sport. It's a lot of things that you can do. Thank you. We'll see you guys soon for our next Man from Holster Uncle video.